we're seeing lender liability claims on the uptick across for all financial institutions. And then specifically when we get to credit unions, CUNA Mutual has seen with our own claim trends and statistics that lender liability claims were up 18% in 2011 over 2010. Also, paid claims were up about 30% over that time period. So the most common claim that we see are defective notice of intent to sell. So ultimately what that means is that the credit union fails to provide notice to the person that's on the security agreement that they're going to be selling their repossessed vehicle. It really comes down to the economy. We're really not seeing the economy recover as quickly as we would hope outside of the recent economic turmoil that we've had. We still have unemployment levels at 8.2% as of March. So first quarter GDP numbers, so it was a 2.2% increase. So we're seeing a recovery. It's a slow recovery though, and really what that's leading to is we're still seeing prolonged levels and elevated levels of repossessions and foreclosures out in the marketplace. And those events can cause can be traumatic to a homeowner and to a owner of a car, and ultimately those can lead to some emotional situations in which they seek to bring claim against a credit union. So some things a credit union can do to decrease their exposure to these potential risks are really, the first step, it starts with basic due diligence, really understanding the potential ramifications of a foreclosure action against a homeowner, the potential challenges that would go with repossession of a vehicle. Then next, ultimately, it's important that a credit union does not attempt to collect debt from a credit union member that has had debt discharge through bankruptcy. It's important that the credit unions review their foreclosure policy at least annually, and that all policies are up to date with regulations. And then lastly, it's important that a credit union perform due diligence before they go into new initiatives. One such new initiative that we see as a potential exposure from a CUNA Mutual perspective is member business lending. There's a few factors in looking at an insurance partner for lender liability. One would be somebody that can partner with the credit union to help them manage their risk. So ultimately, they have a broad perspective and really have a good view of what the industry is facing from a lender liability perspective, and they can work with the credit union to help navigate and mitigate those potential exposures before they even become an issue. Another thing to think about is oftentimes a credit union may not be a legal expert. So in a situation where they may have a lender liability claim that actually does be posed against them, you look to a partner or an insurance partner that can really partner by the credit union and help them through that process. Ultimately, a claim is a distraction. It can be costly even if it's a frivolous claim from a defense perspective. So you're really best to partner with somebody that really understands the unique needs of credit unions to help that and navigate that potential situation. So with regards to lender liability, there's a couple of places where a credit union can go. First, you can really keep track of. We talked a little bit about economic factors. The GDP growth was at 2.2% for the first quarter of 2012. Excuse me. We also talked about how unemployment was at 8.2% as of March. So that data comes from the federal government. So you can go to the Bureau of Labor for the unemployment data, and really watch those trends. You also can go to the Bureau of Commerce to really see what the GDP trends are going. Then ultimately, another source for foreclosure and repossession information is the NCUA's website, ncua.gov. Then lastly, another place that CUNA Mutual policyholders would have access to is CUNAmutual.com and our Protection Resource Center, where we have white papers and associated webinars and so forth that can give credit union customers additional information.